With the beta for Battlefield 6 currently being all the rage, you may have seen photos or videos showing infantry hanging on the back of the Abrams. I know I've seen quite a few posts discussing it and figured it would make for an interesting topic to cover on the channel. So, is it realistic? Short answer, no. In real life, if infantry are riding on the Abrams, they do so by sitting on the turret, not hanging off the rear. What about riding on the back is a bad idea though? Well, it's for a couple reasons, and they're probably pretty obvious. For one thing, and probably the most important, riding on the back, especially where these particular soldiers are riding, is a very bad idea because of the tracks. The last thing you want is to be anywhere near tracks when they're running, whether these be on a tank or on any sort of heavy equipment, because they have a nasty habit of grabbing things, and I don't think you want your leg or your arm being dragged into a tank's running gear. It's just not a good thing to happen to you or anyone around you, and you're probably going to lose a limb. One thing I've seen most people bring up is the exhaust heat, but this isn't quite true. While it is true that the Abrams exhaust does get really hot, where the infantry are riding on the back of this is mostly out of where you would be getting hit by the exhaust. Think of it like if you're standing right in front of the tailpipe on a car, you're going to feel that exhaust, but if you're standing off to one side, you don't really have to worry about it coming out and burning you. So it's kind of the same on the Abrams. Most of the heat from what I've seen is directed out sort of in the middle, so the infantry wouldn't really have to worry about that too much. Another thing to consider is hanging off of the back of the tank like this really less effort than just walking behind or near the tank? Because if you've ever tried to do like a long hold on a pull-up bar or something like that, which it would be a little different on the back of an Abrams because you could probably brace your feet onto the back of the vehicle, but that's going to be a lot of effort, especially with all the gear that an infantry soldier would be wearing. So I don't think it would really save you much, and if anything, you're going to just wear yourself out more than walking behind the vehicle. I think another thing worth considering is that although it may save you a little bit of time riding on the back of a tank, in combat it's probably not the best idea to be hanging off of something that's going to be drawing a lot of gunfire, especially if you're talking RPGs, anti-tank guns, drones in the modern battlefield. Just really not something you want to be around if you're a infantry soldier who does not have a lot of armor protecting him. I would personally probably not want to be too close to the tank unless you're advancing behind it, but even then, probably best to keep at least a little bit of distance. Don't just take my word for it though. I went and asked the chieftain, who has far more experience with the Abrams than I ever will, and he summed it up fairly well. In his reply to my post, he says, "I certainly wouldn't do it. I mean, plausible, sure, in theory, but why in God's name I would voluntarily place my limbs anywhere near the track and risk demonstrating why infantry are termed crunchies is beyond me. And just how much energy I'd be saving by hanging on for dear life versus just trotting behind is questionable." Although it may not be realistic from a gameplay perspective, I think it's actually a pretty nice feature because, for one thing, it sucks when you're playing a tank and you're just leaving all of your friends behind trying to advance and they can't keep up with you. I do also like, from a sort of arcadey realistic mix, which is what Battlefield is, that it is implementing a real-world thing, which is infantry riding on top of a tank, which we see in World War II, modern conflicts. You see it all the time because it's a lot easier than walking for long distances. So you get a little bit of that representation in the game in maybe not so realistic of a way. If DICE is watching this, it would be cool to see these infantry move from the back of the tank and maybe have them ride on the back of the turret or on the back of the hull instead of just hanging off the back. But I think in terms of a game, it's fine. But yeah, let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. I've tried to do this as a little bit of an off-the-cuff video, just really quick to cover something that I thought was kind of interesting and worth digging into at least a little bit. I didn't go too far in depth. I'm sure somebody else could. Maybe Chieftain wants to do a video of his own on this. I think that would be interesting coming from somebody with a lot more experience and can maybe talk a little bit more about this. But It is just a video game at the end of the day, but if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more videos like this, do let me know, and if you don't want to see more like that, let me know as well. Should have some more regular stuff coming up soon. Next video will probably be on the Panzerjäger 1 or on the early history of tank destroyers, something like that. So hopefully you'll be back here soon, and I'll see you then.